Today I want to talk about something that I see advertised pretty much all the time. Something that sounds very good, but can be very dangerous. I'm talking about the mega sessions. You see it in the marketing all the time. Get 5,000, 6,000 and even 7,000 grafts in just one day. It sounds like a great deal, like a perfect one and done solution. But I need to be very clear, this max grafts idea, this mega sessions is a trap, and it can permanently ruin your future. So the first thing you must understand is what I call a finite, bank account. Your donor area, the back and the sides of your head. It is the only place we can get a permanent and healthy hair. This area is limited. It's finite. You can only have a certain number of grafts you can safely take in your entire lifetime. When a clinic promises a mega session of, 6,000 grafts, let's say, they're often trying to spend your entire bank account in just one day in one surgery. This is incredibly aggressive and high-risk strategy. Why? Because of overharvesting. The dangers of overharvesting. Overharvesting is a nightmare scenario. This is what it looks like. This is when clinic gets greedy. They try to, to take too many grafts too close together. They punch out until the donor area is completely destroyed. It looks thin, moth-eaten, as people say, and it is permanent. This cannot be fixed, and you have traded one problem, which is, balding on the top, for a new, totally permanent problem on the back of your head that is impossible to hide. Let's put it simply, you can put some hair fibers, on the top to hide thin areas, but you cannot really put hair fibers on the back. You're stuck. And of course there are exceptions, and I'm sure you're ready to comment, this now.
What's about Dr. Pitella, Dr. Zarev, Dr. Rook? They all do this, mega sessions of 5, 6, even 7,000 grafts in just one surgical session.
Well, they do indeed such surgeries, but the key difference is that these people are pros. They understand donor management, and they also do this over the course of 2 or sometimes even 3 surgical days. They're really pushing the limits of FEU, which is obviously commendable, but in such cases it might backfire. Here's a thought for you. What if, for whatever reason, most of these 7,000 grafts just simply won't grow? Let's say perhaps you have an invisible lesion planopilaris, which is a scalp condition. It can be invisible to a naked eye and usually mistaken for simple androgenetic alopecia. But with surgery done, scalp trauma can trigger and even worsen this condition, which will result in poor growth. And so what do you do then? You have just lost 7,000 grafts. Like, it's just most of your area. An ethical and elite surgeon will not do this. They will protect your donor area. They know they must leave enough hair to cover, the area, and more importantly, leave grafts in reserve for the future. And if they consistently do such mega sessions like said doctors, they must ensure thorough scalp analysis with trichoscope to rule out any such conditions. Most budget clinics don't really have such equipment, let alone even understand how to use it. Here's the part that most people don't think about. Hair loss is progressive. The hair you have today, your native hair, might not be there in the 10 to 15 years from now. Let's say you're 20 to 25 years old and you get 6,000 grafts, mega session to build a perfect low dense hairline. The clinic completely drains your finite bank account to do it. And what happens at the age of 35 or 45 when your native hair continues to thin behind that transplanted island? You now have a new bald spot in that area, but no donor hair left to fix it. You're trapped. This can happen even if you're actively taking finasteride or dutasteride. Male pattern baldness is progressive. Medications help to slow it down to a great degree, sometimes to a very high rate, but it never truly stops. An elite surgeon thinks in decades. They will give you the natural, fantastic result, maybe with 3,000 grafts, while making sure you have another 3,000 grafts or so, back in your reserves for potential touch-ups in the next, 10 to 20 years. That's what's called a future-proofing. Finally, there is this simple medical reality. Cramming 6,000 grafts in a scalp in one session is extremely traumatic. The scalp has a limited blood supply. Each of those new grafts needs blood to survive. And when you pack them too densely, you risk compromising this blood supply. So the clinic can claim, they implant 6,000 grafts, but if only 3,000 of them survive because, the area was overpacked, what's the point? You have now paid 6,000, but only got 3,000. and your donor area is destroyed in the process, so it's the worst possible outcome. So when you see a clinic, advertising these mega sessions as their main selling point, you must be extremely careful. It is often a marketing trap that leads to overharvesting and donor depletion, and to be quite honestly, no plan for the future. A true elite surgeon will talk to you about the strategy. They will talk about protecting your donor area. That is the standard you should be looking for. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.